Hello everyone. Hi and welcome. How's everyone doing?
Hi.
Hey.
I'm Christopher Charles McDaniel, company artist with Dance Theatre of Harlem. I also serve as the company's social media coordinator, and I'm so excited to host a live chat with some of the cast members of Balamouk, which you just saw. I hope you enjoyed that. Balamouk is a very exciting ballet that we all had the great fortune of being in the original cast of. So without further ado, I am going to introduce the folks participating today. So we have Miss Ingrid Silva. We also have Anthony Santos and Dylan Santos. Though they have the same last name, they are not brothers.
No.
Cool. So we'll get started. And if you guys, as you're watching, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat and then they'll get them over to us, all right? So let's start with the first question. Now, so as dancers, we don't normally like to watch ourselves. We all have that thing where we're like, oh, that's weird, you know? So what does it feel like to see ourselves on a TV or on the computer or wherever you're watching the ballet? Let's have you start, Ingrid.
To me, it was amazing, actually, because this is one of my favorites, and I actually haven't been able to fully see it. Like, we started the first part of the ballet when Annabelle first came, and we did the second half, and then this is it. So watching the premiere today was really special. Of course, we all have notes for ourselves, but for the first time, I got to enjoy seeing me dancing, and it was really exciting and made me miss dance even more.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony?
Watching myself on the big screen, really watching all of us on the big screen really made me just miss performing. Like Ingrid said, Balamouk is one of my favorite ballets. You go out there and like you get to really be this funky character and you get to just dance and have fun and party with all your loved ones. And so it really just made me want to get back on the stage and sit there with our heads down, waiting for that curtain to come up and feel that light hit our face and then just start dancing. I just really it really made me miss dancing.
Yeah, I can say the same thing. And especially because I just had the live conversation with Annabelle yesterday. And she was telling me that she kept reminding us to get back on the clump, get together, dance together. And now we're watching it and I miss all of you so much. I miss us dancing together so much. And it's so great that we get to see ourselves dancing. And of course, you know, there's notes and things like that, but it's been so long since we've been on the stage that just really nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Christopher? You're in there too.
It's funny because this is the first one of our premieres that I'm actually in, because we've been showing a lot of the former dancers and stuff. And so I forgot, like, because I just do so much of the behind the scenes work. So I actually forgot that I was in the piece because I was on so many other things. So anyway, like actually seeing myself on the screen, you know, I always go into the like, oh, my body this or my feet that or whatever. But like you guys said, it was just so exciting because I'm like, now my family who's never been able to see the ballet because we are always on tour, they can now, you know, tune in on YouTube. And I saw my cousin and my aunt in the comments. So that was more exciting, seeing their reaction and setting my grandma and everyone up in the living room to watch it than like actually watching myself. So, but it is a really exciting thing that we get to share our work this way because we do travel the world. And now like even more people have access to us. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What's our next question? I guess we should, like, this is not on my list, but we should just talk about the process a little bit. I know some people may have been following us throughout the week, and so they've seen the Inside Balamouk and the live conversation, but some people may not have. So does anyone want to go ahead and just talk about the process? I'll start it off with just, you know, this was a commission for Fall for Dance in the fall of 2018, and it premiered the day after my birthday at City Center on October 5th. And that was a really amazing time working with Annabelle to build this work. And so, you know, let's just talk a little bit about the process and how it is working with this genius of a woman who's so eclectic and so beautiful. She's so beautiful. So yeah, Ingrid, what do you feel?
I think to me, the process was wonderful, challenging, and completely different. She is actually one of the women choreographers I actually look up to, especially after seeing Frida, which I love Frida. But knowing her and working with her at Balamouk, to me, it was quite of a discovery. You know, we all went to the studio. We were all open to do this ballet together. We were all open to be creative. And some of the things that we would do with the sequence that she shared with us, she would say, oh, I like that. I want that on. And she shaped us in our best way. So I really love it. Especially doing the second part with the guys. To me, it was really amazing, you know, very tiny women and everybody wants to put me up and lift me. And I was like, oh yeah, I like this. This is awesome. And it was also a good way of working in group. You know, working in group sometimes can be challenging, but we all came together for one thing and it made it look beautiful with effortless. And I'm really excited with the process that she had.
Amazing. All right, Anthony.
The process of creating Balamouk was literally, genius. That's the perfect word to say, genius. Annabelle, she comes in with like a blueprint and then we all color it in together. She has the outline and we do the coloring. And I think that's what made it such a fun and challenging and just like memorable process. She worked with us. She wasn't just teaching us steps. She was telling us stories and then we'd react to it and then we'd figure it. It was a group effort and like she really knows how to use her words and her time. Annabelle comes in and she gets so much done in just 30 minutes. So like half the time I would forget that we were creating a ballet. I'm just like, oh, we're just dancing. And then at the end, she formed this like masterpiece.
Yeah, she has such a natural energy that it brings everyone close to her. And I just feel like it was such a good thing for us because I remember her saying herself that she planned to use a different music. Yeah. And because she said that she saw the company performing a while back before she got invited to choreograph for us. And she said that she saw us doing a very serious piece. So she thought that she had to come in really ready with a whole music ready. And she did. But when she got in front of us, she said that we reacted to the cosmetics music so much more. And she said, she was like, they picked the music, they build the ballet. So it's very exciting to be able to collaborate with somebody like her because her mind is quite amazing. And the ballets that she's been putting out there, you know, Balamouk is incredible, but everything else that she's putting out there, you know, the companies are also fantastic. So it was an awesome way to be.
Yeah, you know, for me, I find, you know, we work on a lot of different genres within our Dance Theatre of Harlem repertoire, which is one of the most exciting things about being a part of the company. And of course, you know, I grew up seeing the company since I was a baby. So being part of it is such a big deal. But when we're bringing in someone with a name like Annabelle, and I've seen a lot of her work, I was so nervous because I was like, I'm such a bunhead and I want to do Balanchine and I want to do Le Corsaire and stuff. And of course you want to do the contemporary ballet and stuff. But when you know the caliber of the people that we work with, I'm like, all right, I really have to come prepared. And it was a summertime. We were in a different space than our normal studio. So I was in like a kind of, oh my goodness, like I'm really being thrown to the wolves here. But being chosen to do the ballet was just like really amazing. And we instantly, and it's funny because during the live chat, she brought up that whole music thing like you talked about, Dylan. And I remember that moment where she's playing Shostakovich and I'm in the corner like, yes, this is so classical and blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of the rehearsal, when she flipped to the music we currently have, the Balamouk, and I was like, we were all grooving. And I think that's what she was like, okay, yeah, this is what they want to do. And that's why every time we go out for the ballet, it's never like a chore. We're always like, oh yeah, it's time to get it. Like we can be tired going in, but once that starts.
Especially us, when we're at Jacob's Pillow, we had such a demanding program for us. especially for you, Chris. And every time Balamouk would close the night, and all of us, for some reason, we all got together and we all grew up together and we all kind of like give each other energy, and it made every single time be very fun, very, very fun. It's a very good ballet for us to group into it.
I think because the ballet it's about us.
Yeah.
So when we come on that stage, it's like, all right, are we all ready? Because we have to do this together. I think that's what makes it so special, is that it's not about one person. There's no real principle. We are all in this together, and we are going to start together and end together. I think.
Well, Ingrid's
and the energy. Oh, stop it. But the energy was amazing too, because I remember we had to do valse first, then go into another ballet. Then we had that. And at the end, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make that happen? Especially like opening night, you know, what's going to happen? But everyone was so unified. You know, everyone was helping each other, even through the ending part with the class. So we were like, oh,
we were like,
it was, I know, it was a great energy. So that definitely kept me going. And I was really happy, you know.
Yeah, you know, you brought it up perfectly, because that was the next thing to talk about, was the Jacob's Pillow experience. And I remember when the casting went up, when we got our casting book, it's kind of like a pamphlet full of every performance for whichever city that we're doing. And I saw that almost every night I had a triple bill that started with Harlem on my mind. And then I had Valse Fantasy by George Balanchine with Ingrid. And then Balamouk closed the show. Now, the tricky thing with Valse into Balamouk was that there was no intermission. So it was like a change and run.
I totally forgot about that.
Yes.
And I remember
we only had to breathe. Breathe.
There's no time.
I totally forgot.
Change costumes, and like we were all sweaty. And I remember one night in particular, I thought that I was not going to make it. And I remember looking over at our stage manager, Heather, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I was like crying. I was like,
Definitely, yes.
Fun. We got to do it. Let's go. It's like, all right.
And the music carries us through it. Like the music helped us so much. It's such a fun ballet.
So good. All right, let's keep it moving. We have a question. A question from the woman herself. Miss Annabelle Lopez Ochoa is asking.
Wow.
I know, that's it. First of all, can we just give her a round of applause? For
yes.
Okay.
We miss you. We miss you.
Much love to you, Annabelle.
Yeah. So she's asking, is it hard for us non-Brazilian dancers, so that's you and me, Anthony, to learn the Samba step?
That is a good question. That's a good question.
I'll start. No, I'm actually, that's like a big part of like what I do. I love to experience other cultures. So when I like experience it, I really dig deep. I want to become a part of the culture. So when you present something to me that's foreign, instead of running away because it's new and fresh, I dive head first. So that way I can come out and I'm like, a Brazilian.
Yeah, you know, for me, I actually, yes, I was trying to find the like most fluffy cotton candy way of saying yes. It was really hard for me, and as you saw in the video, I was faking it. And but that was one of the things that we have with each other at Dance Theatre of Harlem, is that even if it's not your most comfortable step or style, we're still required to make it happen. So I think I remember just watching, you, Dylan, and Ingrid do the step, and then I'm like, okay, how many eights do I have to do that? Okay, if I can just fake it for 4 and then really get to it and then get into that next piqué, it'll be fine. But it is challenging because I think that I get really analytical and I want to do it justice. I want to like do it right. And then Ingrid's just like, oh boy, just dance.
Chris, actually going off of that, I think that's what helped me, because I feel like the two of us do the same thing where we look at something and we try to break it down to the very, very like beginning, so that way we can get it. And then like watching Ingrid and Dylan do the Samba, I'm like, they're just dancing. They're not really thinking about 1, 2, 3, 1. They're just dancing and hearing the music and like moving their hair. So I'm like, I'm just gonna dance and get the footwork and then add my own little upper body to it.
It's so funny you guys say that it feels like we're just dancing, because when me and Ingrid were trying to Samba together, we can never Samba together in the first try.
Well, you know why, right? Because we're from different cities and the rhythm, we had to figure it out.
That's a really good point. It's a really
So because go ahead, Dylan.
No, that's what's funny, because every time that we go to the same section and we're like, all right, let's Samba together now. Every time we just start differently. So we're like, how we can teach these people how to Samba if we're not even Samba together? Ingrid, she's like, well, let them figure it out. And all of us did, so like watching everyone dancing. It feels good to see everyone moving like that. So there's not really a right way to do it. You just have to have the right feeling.
Yeah.
What were you about to say, Ingrid?
Well, I said that because we are from different cities. For people that don't know, Samba, it's a Brazilian thing. But every city has a different rhythm. Every city has a different knowledge of what Samba is, the music itself. So it was really interesting, even for us that knows a lot about Samba and has grown doing that. Like, how can we do this together? Let's bring our own cities and
on the count,
how are we doing? Yeah, exactly. So that's why at the end, I was like, let's just do it. We're going to figure it out this leg at some point in life. Let's just dance.
At some point in life. Very good. So we have another question coming in, from YouTube. This is a really good question. How have we been coping without our live audiences? I guess we'll just all take that. Start with
really hard.
That's
really hard. So what Christopher started saying, that some of us don't want to see ourselves in videos. I more often now want to see myself in a video, because ever since we finished our performances in March, I really miss another part of me, of who I am as an artist. And that's been really hard. Even watching Balamouk now, I was here like this. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be on the stage again, because it's something that really moves us, when preparing at home. I'm really glad that we are still working. We are still taking class every day. We are still preparing our bodies, but nothing is the same as being on the stage with a live audience, giving you their full energy, and you are giving back. So it's been really difficult.
Yeah. Let's have Anthony.
Going off of what Ingrid said, I want to start with, it's been a really difficult journey with just like this whole new life that we're living. But I had to sit back and I had to come to terms with like, things are going to be the way they are. But I had to tell myself that I'm not just a performer. I feel like for a long period of time, dancers, we only allow ourselves to just be dancers. So like, I started to make a list of things that I want to accomplish during these two pandemics. And I've been reading a lot. I redecorated my balcony. I'm writing. I'm becoming an activist. There's so many different things, so many different parts of me besides a performer and a dancer. And so I do have to thank these rough times for bringing out that like shining light inside of me. That now I know that like I'm more than just a performer. I can do many things. I have many talents. So I think that's what I've been working on during this period.
Yeah, like Anthony said, I found myself needing the idea of a new outlet. I've been finding new ways to keep myself motivated and not just use dancing in that way, just because, I don't have much space to dance right now. So I had to make myself happy in a way, because dancing actually makes me feel so much better. If I have a bad day, I go to dance and everything kind of like goes better. So for the fact that we don't have that now, I just had to make a new way for me, because, all of us have to find a new journey now. All of us need to find the new skills. All of us need to learn about things, educate yourselves, because it's very important. And now we have the time to do all that.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And to everyone's point, I mean, it's absolutely true. We got pulled off of our Detroit tour super prematurely. And that was really, you know, it was really devastating because we are a touring company and we get our kicks, you know, really traveling the world and performing. I mean, especially a city like Detroit, where there is a huge community that is really interested in what we have to offer. So for me, I've been missing that interaction with the audience, that like, I think just like the experience of performance, because I am such a geek for theater. I love
energy.
Yeah, that like being backstage and those nerves or that excitement.
Oh my God, yes.
The smell of the air, the rosin box, just the culture of it. My eyeliner is not working, you know. You know, just all of that, hearing the women grooving out to their music, the guys, you know, that's what I miss more, is how we come to our performances. But during this period, I've been doing a lot of teaching via Zoom and, you know, of course, helping build all of our digital media and stuff. So that's been a really good outlet. But I do miss our live audience. So hopefully we'll be back to you all soon.
Hopefully. We'll be ready too. When it's time, we're going to dance our hearts out. We're going to be so ready.
Yes.
I mean, it's been amazing to see the love that we're getting online. So they're still with us, which is amazing, but it would be great to be able to see them, you know what I mean? And feel them and hear them screaming and cheering for us.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's see. We have Logan Pitts. Hey, Logan.
Hey, Logan.
Logan's house. All right, so when you get up to perform this piece, describe your process of connecting and going into this world. What meaning do you connect to, and what are some challenges for y'all? What's most exciting? You know, Logan, he gets it.
Can you repeat that last part of the question?
I'm gonna break them down because, you know, Logan will get us talking into some good intellectual
Well, the first part got me.
We'll do the first question. So when we get up to perform this piece, what's the process of connecting to the Balamouk world? So how do we get into that space in our physically?
I think to me, it all goes by what the program is, and always hair in a way set up the character. So if we have a long program, and I know Balamouk is last, and I finish and I have a little time, I take that little time to prepare myself. So I get into character, I get into what I'm definitely performing, and I'm starting preparing my mental state there. And then from that, whenever you put the costume on and you sit in the wings, I do a lot of like visualization and prayers before. I listen to a lot of like good music who is going to like pump me up to it. And I think that's my process to this ballet and all the others. It's really important for us because we do so much and we get into different ballets so many times to really know the essence of each one.
Yeah, good point. Mr. Anthony.
So my process for Balamouk starts with music. So I usually play like some funky music like Shaka Khan, Prince, or, you know, Diana Ross, something loud, something funky. I have that jamming in my ear. Then like Ingrid said, I'll get with my hair and I want my hair to be like big and like curly. And then I'll think of like Disney characters, a lot of different Disney villains. For example, like, what's the villain from
Jafar.
Like I'll think of Jafar or other like regal, like sneaky people. And like, I really tap into that. I'm like, who am I gonna be today? I really wanna be a completely different person. I'm not Anthony when I go on this stage. When I lift my head up, I'm a completely different person. So that's how I start. I start with my music, then I start thinking of a character, and then like I start to act like that character in the dressing room. I mean, you and Dylan can probably even tell stories. Like I'll walk around like I'm somebody else to get ready for the stage.
For me, I get my preparation by everyone else. I feel like, you know, all of us come in the morning and we have our class together. And if we're touring, we've been in the same hotel and things like that. So all of us kind of like start our day together. And I feel like I get my energy from that. Like Ingrid said, like depending on the program, that's how we feel. But every time that we have Balamouk, we usually have like one or two members that they're only doing Balamouk. So you feel them, their energy, they're like ready to go on the stage. So I feel like that really prepares me well to get into the stage and do something like Balamouk, because to me, it makes me feel really happy. And like I told Annabelle, it makes me feel like I'm on a carnival with the beautiful colors, and it's so warm, such a good feeling. So I just kind of like tap into just being me, because that's what I feel like the ballet kind of asks for my character to do.
Yes.
What about you, Christopher?
Wow, no.
You're still in the ballet.
We all, it's all so real. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, you know, one of the things that adds to the genius of Annabelle is that she doesn't just give you steps because she wants to see steps that she likes. She's building this off of who we are and who she sees us as. And I realize that a lot of people who come to make work for us do that with us because they see that we're all personality plus, we're all kind of intricate in our speaking, or we're a little sassy, or we're fun, or we're silly. And I mean, and I'm always the like party starter everywhere I go. So everyone always goes with that kind of thing. So when I think about, you know, the very first entrance I have in the new section, I'm in the finale and I'm coming out and I'm grooving, I'm dancing and stuff. And I remember Annabelle specifically doing this step toward me. Like, I just want you to move across the stage. She kept doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, girl, well, if that's what you want. And then every single night I go out for that, whether it's Stephanie out there or if it's Daphne, even when I come out to do a part with Crystal or like my interactions with Ingrid, I started way in the wing. And I'm, you know, walking around, just grooving, and the stagehands are like, what is wrong with this boy? And I'm just sometimes I get like
he's ready.
Okay.
Because I'm like in party mode. And then when I come on stage, I hear like the giggles or the okay. You know, you hear the reaction from the audience, and then it just goes up a notch. And I'm just like, you know, so I think for me, I just, to get into that world, I just tap into who I really am as Christopher, the like chill kid who like wants to party, and like I have a bunch of siblings, and I'm like, if we were out somewhere at a bar or a club, I wouldn't come in like this. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? Okay. So, you know,
well, Chris,
go ahead.
Going off of that though, like that's so real. Like when we're in the wings, like I wish Heather could could share so many stories when she's backstage. Cause like, I'm always like, when I watch the duet, especially because I come out after for the trio, I'm always watching it and like my eyes are glued to Crystal and Dustin and my body's reacting to them. And like, I'm quite sure Heather's like looking at me like, what is Anthony doing? But like, I'm in character. So then when I bust out the wing, it's like, oh, what's going on? But like, I've been building it up. So that way, when I come on stage, it's like, boom.
Yes.
That's actually really interesting. I never stopped to think about what our stage managers think about us.
Oh, she sees a lot though.
Is how does the supporting crew feel about being back there? Because, you know, there's so much that goes on that, you know, our audience doesn't see. Like we touched on the Balamouk beginning at Jacob's Pillow. I think I even got sick. Do you remember how exhausted I was? And I was like, I think I'm gonna throw up. I think I drank water too fast. And then hold the curtain. So, but I just can only imagine what that's like for the crew. And then like for, you know, like our lighting guy, Will, he's out front. So I can only imagine getting something on the walkie-talkie, like we have to, someone's like, they might just, you know.
That'll be a very good live conversation to have soon. I'll be entertained.
Put that one on the books. So obviously we're in New York, so we've got sirens going on. So we'll just let that happen. So let's, just in the interest of time, we're gonna go to the, let me see. So we did talk about some of the challenges and what's most exciting. So I think we covered all of that. Can you tell the music? Okay, so we're getting a question about the music. And so the question is just, what do we feel about the music and you know, just music in general? And I'll start it and then I'll pass it to Ingrid. I love this music, and we have to just give a shout out. Sorry, there's the truck passing. To the Klezmatics, who were going to perform this live with us at the New York City Center season. We just did a live salon with them. Some of the dancers did some amazing improv, and they improved on their instruments. And one of the amazing things about this music is that it literally carries you from one end of the stage to the next. And when Annabelle I remember when she first played the music, and I was sitting in the corner. I was in social media mode, so I had my phone out, and I was like about to tweet something for the company. But this music changed from Shostakovich to what we have now, and she was grooving like this, and she just kept going. And you know, she has that gorgeous little bob, and it was flopping in, bopping in, bopping in, bopping. And I said, "Oh, this is funky, okay." And so, you know, the music just keeps you lifted. And then when she added the new section for the women, that gorgeous music and the plucks of the strings, and you see it in the way the women move their arms and then they lay their heads. So I think the music is just like one of the most exhilarating things that just carries us from one step to the next. What about you, Ingrid? How do you feel about the music?
Well, I love it. And I still want to know what the yabba 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 and all the other stuff means.
Hey.
Because this was the first thing. This was definitely the first thing that we were like, what are they saying? You know, it's always a good research for the dancers to know definitely what is the music, what is the piece of music is. It's not just a regular rhythm. It's so much more than that. It builds you, it builds what you dance. And also, I think overall, not just the music, this ballet was a perfect moment for you to enjoy being on stage. We always think so much about technique, which is already there, but we never live most of the times, you know? And I think to me, this experience with the music, with the performance itself was one of the best moments. And the music is so upbeat. It's really rare for dancers or choreographers use something like that, because you're probably always worried what the steps are going to look like with this kind of music. And it really matched. And it was magic.
Yes.
Yes, Ingrid, I agree with you. The music is fantastic. I think the musical journey from beginning to end is very eclectic and it's like a big roller coaster ride, you know? And like, I think it helps with the story. I've created many stories for myself each time I go to perform this ballet, but I think the music's a big part of it. As soon as it starts, you can't help but like bob your head and step side to side. I believe that's why the beginning is literally, you just keep stepping, because that music, you can't help but to like feel it in your body. So I think the journey with the music and the choreography, I think they like intertwined into one, and then that's how she created the masterpiece. The music is like genius. When my mother, who's not a dancer, listens to the music, like I'll look over and like I'll see her sitting down, and like you can't help but like to bob your head and kind of groove out. It's like Ingrid said, we usually don't get that all the time. We'll get a really classical piece or like bells or anything you have to go with it. But like to be able to like go on stage and listen to music that you would listen to when you're going to a party, and to do ballet, like it's like the best of both worlds.
Demanding ballet.
Yes.
But you know, we've been talking about the music, and I agree with all of you guys, but what about the costumes?
Yes.
Remember that she was so specific about each person having their own costume. I know I never danced in a skirt before, and when she said that she was inspired just by the movements that I was doing and I was gonna wear a skirt, I was just like, what was I doing then? You know what I mean? But I love the idea and the direction that she gave for me to be in the skirt. You know what I mean? It was really very interesting that like even the colors, even the shape, how it fit us, it was very like particular to each person. So how did you guys feel about having your own costume made for yourself?
Loved it. I loved it. I was like the only one in like long purple pants. So I was like, oof, I feel like I'm going down the Soul Train line. Every time I put my costume on, I felt like we needed to start a Soul Train line, have a little Soul Train party, and then get into place and start the ballet.
It was fantastic.
I feel like she really got to know each of us like personally, like get to know our personalities. And like you said, we are all like, we're really fun people. So like she really, I think that's why the costumes fit so well for each person, because she really was like, oh, for Ingrid, I want her to have this. For Chris, he has to have a little like pullover. Dylan's gonna have a skirt. Anthony's gonna have long pants. Like each person had their own. She really dug into like each person's personality and created a costume.
Remember that Lindsay had long pants first, and then Lindsay was like, I love showing my legs. And then Annabelle changed it because Lindsay said,
She
this
changed
is me.
it.
That's amazing for a choreographer.
That.
For a choreographer to do that, like that. I remember that Lindsay was really happy about that. So that's very fun.
I mean, she has
I think also that if we think about like not just her process, because her process was very open to the dancers, the costume was very much rainbow-like. Each one of us has our own identity. And I mean, how she customized from the costume to be what you are to the hair, because each one of us had the hair that we wanted.
Oh,
like me personally, I walked in with my braids. I had like 2 pigtails kind of braids, and I put some gold things in the middle. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to work. And she's like, oh, I want that. And I was like, what? Nobody ever took this step to do something like this. And I was like, yeah. So I think that process to me of not just trusting the dancer, but trusting the whole art itself, building with us and giving us the confidence, it's so fulfilling. And we don't experience that all the time. So it must be not a very hard step for her, because she wants to know who we are and how we translate her dancing to the audience.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's what made it all become one big like genius of a work, because you have the music, you have the costumes, the hair, the dancers, the choreographer actually like speaking and getting to know these dancers individually. Like now you've created a masterpiece where everyone feels free to just be themselves, or whoever they're presenting at that moment. So I think it really all like, it's like a big puzzle piece, and then it just like meshes together once we get on stage. It's pretty epic. Go Annabelle.
Annabelle. That's so true. And you know, I when you're talking about just the changing of costumes and stuff, I remember that moment with Lindsay. And I remember when she came back in, and it was a short little skirt type thing, and we saw legs, and you know, Lindsay's got those gorgeous long legs.
Yeah.
And we were all like, yes. Absolutely, yes. I also remember just all the back and forth at City Center with the hair, because Annabelle wanted big hair, but she wanted everyone to be different. And this is kind of funny because I remember, you know, Virginia being like, oh, okay, well, don't get too crazy. Because at the end of the day, you know, and this is what was so cool about Annabelle, was that she wanted us to have that expression, but she trusted us to use our discretion. Well, mostly with the ladies, because you all have bigger hair than us. We all been in quarantine growing hair at this point, but you know, she trusted us to use discretion and to not do anything that was going to compromise, you know, the integrity of the work or the integrity of who we were as a company. And everyone did so many cool styles and had those intricate colors of hairpins and like, you know, and it was lending itself to just us being full people the whole time. So so it's amazing. Shout out to Mark for those costumes.
Yes.
Have an amazing video called Inside Balamouk on our YouTube that you can watch, where he goes into depth about the costumes. So we're gonna start to wrap it up, but there's one thing I do want to make mention of that I think is a really, really big deal. So our company is only 18 dancers, and at any given moment, something can happen. And people go out and go in, and you have to learn a new track and things like that. I actually had an experience in Brazil where minutes before curtain, I could not walk, and I injured my left knee, and it was so bad that no one knew what happened, and I crawled up the stairs. But it was just so chaotic that, you know, we had to send the ballet on with an empty spot. And then the next performance, Anthony had to learn it and go in. And, you know, so we all have these different things. But the one person who's done every single performance of this ballet is Miss Ingrid Silva.
Yes.
Every single one. So what's that like?
And there.
How did you manage?
Well, I think I was very positive about like what each program definitely was for me. And I think this is one of the things that kept me going. This ballet never got old, even though it's 2 years now, or the second half was built after the second year. I had very challenging moments at times because we are not perfect and we are tired, and you never know what kind of program you are dancing. So it's really interesting, how do you manage who you are in each performance as being a human? It's kind of hard sometimes. But I think, to me, I've never thought about it. Oh, I was never there, or I was always there. I never thought about it until you said it. I took day by day, and I really enjoyed it. I think my favorite moment was in Brazil, of course, because my family was there watching it. Special.
Amazing,
I
amazing.
feel like it's actually, people feel more so like, I usually feel like when I'm not in Balamouk and I'm watching it, I'm always like, oh, I want to be on stage with them doing Balamouk, So I feel like you got the lucky end of the stick, where like you've been doing it constantly. You get to always go out on stage and like have a little mini party with like company members. I'm jealous of you, Ingrid.
Oh no. Don't be.
I'm not.
We're gonna start teaching apart when I come back.
Right. And I same with Anthony, because of injuries and different things like that. I spent a lot of time in the audience watching the show, and I was just struck by how every single night I would see this ballet, I would realize something different was happening in some corner. And it's like everybody was still building their stories. And it wasn't until I think I forget what city we did it, but it was one of the cities where we switched over, where the night before it was like a return closed, and then the next night it was Balamouk. And I was like, wait, Ingrid does this ballet every single night. Like, and kudos to you. And it's probably, crazy having different partners coming in and out, that you don't know who's going to be in the cast sometimes until you're standing there and you're like, all right, okay, so it's Anthony in that spot. He's a little taller than Christopher.
That was the first thing she said. Chris, that was the first time you got injured and I had to learn your part. We were on stage, Ingrid got ready and she looked and she was like, whoa. She was like, you're really tall. And I was like, yeah, I know.
That was so
And everyone was like, Anthony, you're in the wrong spot. And I'm like, no, I'm a different person now. I'm not the same guy.
Right, exactly. And then the costume is like, you're so used to seeing that one person in that costume. So then when I see, like, when Derek's in the cast and he's in Anthony's costume, but then Anthony's in my costume and I'm in the wing and I'm like, wait, I thought I was doing this tonight or whatever. It's just like, but where people are supposed to be in accordance with the costume. Even if you're 6'2", but that person was 5'8.5", maybe. It makes it different. Anyway, guys, this has been an amazing, amazing chat. This is an amazing ballet by an incredible woman. And any final thoughts in closing?
Definitely, I want to be on the stage again and do it.
Yes, I was just about to say the same thing, Ingrid. I just, watching Balamouk, I'm like, I miss dancing, and not just doing the steps, but like when we were on stage, the way we would look at each other as we danced. Even there were even times when like we would clump up and we would chat a little bit, like, hey, let's get it. And like, then we would like go, I think it was such a big community, just dancing together. No matter what we were all going through, whenever Balamouk started, we gave it our all and we ended with like 1,000%. And I miss it. I just miss dancing with you guys.
Chica. Dylan, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing that the Dance Theatre of Harlem is showing old performance footage of our company. I think it's great that we get to see ourselves dancing, and we also get to show other people what we've been doing all these years. It's been amazing to see my friends looking at that and be like, wow, like, it's a real job. Look at you dancing out there and traveling the world. So, not having that in my life right now, it's been quite hard, but actually, being around all of us from the Dance Theatre of Harlem been actually very helpful. So, you know, we can just, I guess, keep helping each other like we always do. Not on stage this time, but, you know, through Zoom.
Shout out to Zoom, child. Zoom came through. I mean, I feel like we're kind of just thrusted into the world of Zoom. And, you know, right when quarantine started, I was like immediately on a Zoom call at least 4 times a day about something.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been so great seeing you all and hearing your thoughts about the work. Like Dylan said, it's incredible that we get to share our videos with the world and the public who don't necessarily have access to us. And it would be just completely, you know, not right to, you know, make mention of what we're going through in the world with just fighting for justice and equality and equity. And I think that, you know, Dance Theatre of Harlem's founding is completely embedded in social justice. And, you know, the way we look alone, our presence in the ballet world is an act of activism and an act of just celebrating that we can make this art form something different. So through DTH On Demand, we're getting to share and show people that that's real. We're showing them that representation matters. We're showing them that ballet doesn't have to be one way. You know, we have so many different varieties of things that we bring to the table because our company is so diverse and so unique and people from all over the world. So I'm so excited that we get to share that with the world. I'm so excited that we have this platform and that we are able to use our voice to speak up and to demand change and to show beauty. And I'm very grateful for you all joining me tonight. So thank you.
Thank
you.
you. This is great.
Thank you.
Right, let's do it again. And I love the idea of getting our crew and folks talking about.
Yes, we should do that.
Yes.
Because it can't be easy traveling the world.
Not dealing with us. With just the 4 of us backstage, I'm quite sure they have a million stories.
They're like, oh God, Chris fell again. Get off the floor, boy.
There's been so many times I've been in front of Heather's face like,
No. What about when she needs to go call us? She goes, don't make me go find you.
Like, I gave 5-minute calls 10 minutes ago. So like, where are you?
Yeah, but, you're gonna have to hear the stories for sure.
Yeah, so we'll get that planned. But thank you all so much. And thank you all for tuning in. Everyone who is watching in the world of YouTube, thank you all. Send us a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We'll keep things posted. Balamouk will be up for viewing for about another week. So check it out if you haven't already. And check out all of our supporting collaborative videos and stuff like that. Follow us on social media, all that wonderful plugging. Follow us and like us, and we'll see you soon. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Continue to spread love and light.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Ingrid. Bye, Dylan. Bye, Anthony.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Ingrid.
Bye, Ingrid.
Bye, Anthony.
Bye, Dylan.